welcome to UEL Sports TV. We're live from the Sports Dock, and alongside me tonight is UEL Sports reporter Ben Smith. So we should have an action-packed show for you tonight, so let's see what we have in store for you. Siad caught up with Director of Strength and Conditioning Duncan Ogilvie. Simon spoke with second-year volleyball scholar Beth Gunter, and Manny was out in force talking to athletes and fans on Big Blue Wednesday. But first, the American football team started their first ever competitive season this year. The club has only been active for 2 years, and I went down to Beckton Park to find out what they're about. It's been a difficult start for the American football team this season after losing their opening 2 games, but they haven't had the luxury of using any goalposts in their first 2 matches, which means when within scoring range they haven't been able to put up 3 points. Head coach Callum Mayer took on the role of coaching the team this season, and he told us his thoughts on the season so far.
We definitely should have won our second game. We had the lead, and then it's a rookie mistakes that are sort of hurting us a bit now, which is kind of expected when most of the guys on the team are rookies. We only fell behind because we only had 10 men on the field at one point. Someone panicked, and there was a bit of a bad snap that they recovered. But in the first game, we were sort of well in it in the game the whole way through against a really much more experienced side. Had a few touchdowns called back for questionable penalties, and it just hasn't gone our way so far. But it was really promising stuff. We've got the amount of talent on this team is just ridiculous, and we should be very competitive going forward, and there's no reason why we can't turn the season around and finish 6-2. So, yeah.
Obviously the start of the season hasn't been the best start that you would have wanted, and obviously with the absence of field goals. How has the absence of the field goals played a massive part in the 2 games?
It just means that we've got to be able to convert on short yardage situations. So if it's 4th and 2, we've got to be able to have plays in our playbook that are going to pick up those yards for us. We've got to be able to, if we score a touchdown, which we have a couple of times, we've got to know what we're going to convert to 2 points. We've got a couple of 2-point conversions this year, so yeah, we're doing all right.
So obviously you are doing all the play calls. How do you create the plays and obviously all the codes that go with it? How difficult? How long do you spend doing that?
A long time. One of the keys I try, because this is a first-year team. One of the things I'm trying to make sure is that it's as simple as possible for guys to learn. We're trying to keep it sort of, there's a few rules that if they learn that, then they should know all the plays. We've only got 4 plays or something in our playbook, but there's a few sort of permutations of them that mean that we can mix it up.
The defence have used the lack of field goals to their advantage. Defensive coordinator Greg Iverson explains how the defence has risen to the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, the field conditions haven't been ideal for us in terms of what we've been dealing with the first 2 games, but they're all set now. So we've got an extra option to score, which is going to be great for us. Looking forward to getting some field goals in over the next few games.
So obviously now with the defence, there's so many sort of like zone, man-to-man, blitz coverages. When you see the offence when they've lined up, how do you pick a play out of those 3 to choose?
So we'll be looking at kind of what plays we've seen before. So we have our standard starting play that we use, but then as we learn from what they've been doing of the tape that we've watched of them playing, we'll see who their best receiver is, how they play them, who their best running back is, and what kind of things they do. So we then try and put our schemes in to stop that, and that's what we replicate in practice as well.
Quarterback Dan Hughes is confident that the team can turn around their recent form in the coming fixtures.
We should have won the first 2, very close. Lost in the last 2 minutes in the last one. We will win, definitely.
So after speaking to the quarterback and the defensive coordinator and the head coach, it seems like the team definitely are moving forward and want to move forward for the rest of the season. So hopefully for them, they can have a good rest of the season. So I suppose it's great really that the American football team has started at UEL, because the sport has increased in popularity over the last couple of years amazingly, with games at Wembley and games now at Twickenham. So what do you think in terms of students, playing the game? Could we maybe, in terms of getting an England franchise, do you think that could be a good step to maybe progress players forward?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. I mean, the sport is obviously, as you said, going in popularity, and the coverage that Sky are putting out there in the Wembley games is opening people's eyes to, it's an alternative to the footballs and the crickets and the rugbies of this world that everyone's accustomed to, and people watch this sport a lot on TV and they want to get involved. So UEL is obviously doing the right thing by giving people that opportunity.
So I suppose really the main thing from that feature really is that obviously they haven't started their first 2 games of any field goals, and obviously that's a key equipment piece lost for the university and for the team. So how can the university react and try and get them some field goals, get them the proper equipment so they can actually play the game a bit better?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously difficult to balance. There's a lot of sports here. I mean, the university appeals to such a wide demographic in terms of international students and things. So, you've got a lot of people to appeal to. So it's not always easy to focus your attention on one specific sport. Having said that, the American football team are going to become more popular, and more people are going to want to get involved, and they are going to want that equipment. But we can't run before we can walk. We've got to give them time. But I'm sure it will be worth the wait. And whilst there's no field goals, they can focus on other areas of their game. They can focus more on their other plays. So it could be a blessing in disguise.
And also, the team for the first year, because it's obviously, as it said, it's their second year in going. So their first season, they only had about 10 players, but now they had over 44 players. So it can already see the growing interest from the NFL coming to England that American football's already having on students.
Yeah, I think there's a definite correlation there. The more Wembley games, the more coverage, the more interest. It's progressing in the right direction. The more people wanting to get involved, more people getting excited about the sport. And obviously, once that equipment comes in, I think we'll see the numbers, go even higher.
So the university, it prides itself on its scholar scheme, and for that to run smoothly, it needs one of the best strength and conditioning coaches in the country. And our reporter, Sead Dizdarovic, caught up with Duncan Ogilvie.
Several of the UEL scholars have made it into the Team GB squad in recent years, and Duncan wants this group of athletes to reach similar heights.
Last year we had a boxer and a rower that were part of the high performance program. They've now been called up to the Great Britain squad for their respective sports this year, so I see them very little because predominantly they're in their training camps. I think boxing's up in Loughborough and the rowing's in Henley, so they'll spend a lot of their time there, so I won't see them as often. Both of them have an outside chance of making Rio, and then we also have two Paralympic athletes, two throwers that I work with 3-4 times a week. That both of them should qualify for Rio, and then one of them's in with a decent chance of maybe medaling, so that'd be pretty good.
So as a coach, is that that's the best you get out? So you get the best feeling when you see one of your athletes progress into life?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the job that's very rewarding. We're not necessarily on an Olympic level. I train a variety of different athletes, and it's just when they achieve a goal that they've set out to accomplish, that's very rewarding for me. Or you see progress on a weekly or monthly basis. It's great to see, but obviously the pinnacle of any sportsman's career is the Olympics, or should be the Olympics. So it's great to enable them or help them get to that level.
And hopefully there will be many more scholars that will join the gym and the program and probably succeed in UEL as well.
Yeah, I mean, each year, both Matt and David really want to grow the program and make it more professional and provide more service and a high quality of service. And that will only help to attract a high caliber of athlete. And then this will then have an add-on effect of like raising the profile of the university, which will then in turn attract more and more people. And then hopefully turn into one of the go-to sports universities in the country, so we can compete with the likes of Loughborough and St Mary's and Northumbria and places like that. So.
All positive stuff there from Duncan, so let's hope UEL reach their goal in becoming one of the top sporting universities in the country. Sead Dizdarovic, UEL Sports.
So I suppose Duncan has quite a hard job, really. He has so many individual athletes in this scholar scheme, and he has to pick out a training scheme for every single one.
It's never going to be easy. I mean, you've got boxers, tennis players, basketball, volleyball, to get all of those in together and to work with them, and he's got such a busy schedule. It's never going to be easy for him, but he's a former professional athlete at the highest standard in the UK, unbelievable basketball player. So I'm sure he's been coached by some of the best coaches, and they'd have fed some of that down to him. And I'm sure, because basketball is a sport which requires a lot of different skills, strength, endurance and everything like that. So I'm sure he can translate all of the things he learnt into these athletes, and they're going to only improve as a result.
So as you said there with volleyball, obviously one of the scholars that is in Duncan's training regime is Beth Gunter, and our reporter Simon Eves caught up with her earlier today.
So we've had a really long pre-season just due to not playing matches. We're getting better as the season goes on. Like, we played second in the league last week and beat them to 12, 13 and 5, so we're definitely moving in the right direction.
Are you getting past opponents as easily as last season?
So last season we weren't really challenged. I mean, this season we've had a couple of tough games, like Cambridge were a good side and Bournemouth are definitely a tough side. Like, it's going to be tough to go away with the men in February and get 2 wins there.
I've seen before, you're from Southampton, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you said Bournemouth are a good side, so what made you come to UEL and not go to Bournemouth?
So With UEL, I know one of the players that already came here, Mark, and I went to college with him, and he really sold it to me. I went and looked around both universities, but at the end of the day, it was UEL that was the place for me to be.
Was the strength and conditioning programme another thing that sold it to you, or did Bournemouth offer something of the similar value?
So I already worked with the Bournemouth S&C coach when I was at college down there, but Duncan, who's our S&C coach here, he's so qualified and he's just great to work with.
And how often do you go and see Duncan?
So I go twice a week, but some of our other players go up to 4 times a week. So maybe when deadline's quieting down a bit, I'll go a bit more.
And then what do you work with in Duncan when you're in the gym with him? Take me through your basic routines.
So we do a little warm-up and do like some activation exercises, and then we tend to do some Olympic lifting, some squats, plyometrics, some arm work, and then finish with abs and maybe a bit of cardio at the end.
Nice. Do you see your games improved after your strength and conditioning work with Duncan?
Yeah, so I've already had 10 sessions with Duncan this year, and like you can already tell like after the first couple of weeks that stuff's improving. I'm working on a new programme now, starting it tonight, so I'm really excited to start that as well.
So the volleyball team have had a great start to the season, obviously being undefeated so far, but obviously starting the season they had to wait a few weeks to get their games underway because of so many teams cancelling. Obviously that's a bit off-putting for teams.
Yeah, I mean, they'd have been chomping at the bit at the start of the season. I mean, they just got promoted last season. You know, they've been raring to go. Some new blood, new fresh faces in the side. They'd have been really excited, but obviously they had a few setbacks through no fault of their own. You know, other universities cancelling on them. That's obviously going to be difficult. But as soon as they got playing, you know, they came firing on all cylinders and they're thrashing teams left, right, and centre. So, you know, it doesn't seem to have had any adverse effect on them.
Okay, and yeah, with the volleyball team doing as well as they are at the moment, they could be on course for another promotion. Still to come tonight. Manny is out and about on Big Blue Wednesday, and Ben speaks with football chairman Kane Taylor.
The University of East London is the most ambitious and the most improved university in the UK for sport. Its high-performance sport programme is one of the most attractive in the UK, with some of the most talented athletes in the country. UEL also has an accredited status by Sport England's Talented Athlete Scholarship Scheme. The university provides comprehensive support, enabling athletes to balance their study with sporting ambitions, offering strength and conditioning and financial support with bursaries up to £6,000. For individuals who are serious about competing and improving their sporting performance, apply now for UEL Sports Scholarship.
Welcome back to UEL Sports TV. Now yesterday was a very important day for the university as it was its annual Big Blue Wednesday event. Our reporter, Manny Sarpong, got in and amongst the action.
Today's UEL's Big Blue Wednesday, and I'm here speaking to some of the fans and some of the players. I'm here with Jeff Davies, UEL basketball scholar. Jeff, Big Blue Wednesday, how are you feeling today?
Hey, it's a big moment, you know, to have the crowd out. The netball girls are going to finish up, and we're going to play a good game with a big crowd in front of our home crowd. That's what it's all about, really. That's what we're here for.
What are you most looking forward to today?
It's just going out and making plays, being athletic. We're an athletic group of guys. We know what to do. We're structured. We just have to stick to our game plan and just basically have fun. That's what it's all about.
All right, you're just moments away from playing LSPU. Mm-hmm. You've played them before.
Yeah.
How would you assess the team?
They're a small team. We're relatively small ourselves, but a small team, quick. They can shoot the ball. So it's just all about executing the game plan that we've laid out yesterday in practice, and just coming out here and producing what we know we can do. They're a quick team, so it's just matching our athleticism with theirs, really.
Okay, Big Blue Wednesday. See, you got the gear on. What does that mean to you?
That means a lot. First year at uni, so I have first time experiencing it, so hopefully it can be a good experience for me.
Is there any other particular sport that you're looking forward to, apart from your own badminton?
I'm looking forward to how basketball ends up. I'm quite interested in basketball as well, so hopefully the basketball team can do well.
We don't have a game just as the schedule runs, which is pretty unfair because, you know, Big Blue is always nice to play on a Big Blue day. But, you know, just thought I'd come down, support all the guys, you know. Big Blue just brings everyone together for UEL, so it's always nice to get a win when you're playing on Big Blue, especially when there's packed crowd, which doesn't really happen often here, but for today it does.
All right, last year you played. What are your best memories from last year?
Last year, probably going undefeated. As a team as well, not just personally. As a team, we went undefeated. We didn't lose any sets or anything. So yeah, that's probably the highlight for me as well.
All right, you're here watching basketball. What other sport are you looking forward to?
I do like watching men's volleyball as well, actually, because I know quite a few of them, because they're all scholars as well. but also they're just really good as a team. Like they come together, and even if it's like hard and they're losing, they always kind of turn it around and always find a way to bring it back to win.
We've got Dan here and Mary. You guys really look the part. Mary, are you looking forward to this?
Oh, I'm always looking forward to like big events that they put on in the sports talk. They always make such a great effort, and it's just important to come down and support all the teams.
Dan, are you looking forward to this?
Yeah, I can't wait. Like we proper put some effort in today. We as our flat, we stayed up to about 4 a.m. making the shell bras. We went all out. It was great.
All right, I got to ask you, what games are you looking forward to the most, Mary?
We're really looking forward to basketball. I mean, every week we look forward to coming to the basketball, but especially today, I just think it's going to be such a good crowd.
So you've heard from some of the fans, you've heard from some of the players. Big Blue Wednesday's been a blast. We now look forward to varsity. I'm Manny Sarpon, UEL Sports TV.
As you saw there, it's great. Even students getting involved, dressing up, dyeing their hair blue for Big Blue Wednesday. It was such a fun day.
Yeah, it's great to see everyone get so enthusiastic about these things. I mean, you know, universities like to put these things on to give students something to look forward to, and you know, it's a festive period. Everyone's in high spirits, and you know, Big Blue Wednesday was no exception to that.
And also the crowds, the massive crowds attending all the games, which was great for the teams.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you get good crowds at Sports Talk on Wednesday afternoons anyway, but you know, for such a big event, you know, everyone comes down, everyone gets all enthusiastic, everyone dresses up. You know, everybody wants to come and get a piece of the action, and you know, as they were saying there, they were dressing up. You know, staying up till the early hours of the morning, getting ready for the big event. It's a bit like varsity, really. You know, everyone comes in and it's like one big union, and everyone just gets behind the sports teams, which is what they want to achieve.
Now football, and they were a part of Big Blue Wednesday yesterday, and it's another club that's going from strength to strength. And Ben, he caught up with the chairman at training earlier this week.
Kane is a third-year student at the university and has been chairman of the football club since last year. The 23-year-old told me how this season has been going for both himself and the club.
It's going good. The first team are doing really well. Second team are up there. We've got a fourth team this year, so yeah, it's good. It's providing football to a lot of people at UEL this year, so it's been successful already.
So what were the contributing factors in your decision to have a fourth team? There was only three in the last couple of years. What made you go for the fourth?
I think the amount of people we get at trials. I mean, we have like over 250 people trial, and it seems like a bit of a waste where a lot of other universities have 5, 6, 7 teams. For us to have a fourth. It's a bit slow at the moment, but we'll get there. And it means more bucks points for the university as well, so it puts us up the leaderboard. So,
how responsible are you for the football club? Obviously, you're the chairman, but you're a student as well. So,
yeah.
So is it a difficult role for you?
This year is third year. It's just juggling everything the football club decide to do, what we spend our money on, how we advertise the football club. So that's like trials. We do nights out at the SU to raise money for the football club to pay for. Last year we paid for food vouchers for everyone before games. So it's just things like that.
So how much credit do you think the UEL Sports Private deserve for giving the likes of yourself a chance to not only be part of the team but to be on the committee as well, make decisions that obviously bodes well for you going into the future if you want to be involved in this sort of thing?
No, it's massive. Personally, it's a great thing to have. Like, if you ever go into a job, working together as a team, not just on the football pitch, but outside of the football pitch. I know some lads get offered coaching from it over at West Ham. So there's loads of opportunities, not just at UEL, but in other places surrounding around football.
And looking at a social aspect, you guys are all good friends. How important is that for your university life? The fact you've got some lads you're close with and play with.
Massively. Like my two housemates both play, so one plays for the first team and the other one plays for the second team. That's massive for me. That's degrees the most important at the end of the day, but you need that burner at the end of the week, and football is it. And massively, like especially on the Wednesday and the Mondays and the Fridays when we train, it's just great to be in a team environment. And I think a lot of people, especially for making friends, it is great because all the lads are a great bunch. So it's a big factor, the social side. It's got better as the years have gone by. More people get into the committee. The more organisation we could do nights out. Wednesday we're going out to XOYO after Big Blue Wednesday, so yeah, it should be good. It's a big factor in.
And how are football club going to get involved in Big Blue Wednesday? Is there anything planned for that? Apart from my obviously.
Obviously we're playing, and then to be honest, like it's the biggest thing is playing, and then advertise. We'll advertise on social media, flyers if we can. It's not as last year we all played at home, so it was quite handy. This year there's two teams away. The first team away at Brighton, so it's like getting everyone out after that. But yeah, hopefully like all the societies and everyone can get together and have a good night out.
So you mentioned the first team there, they've got Brighton this week. They've had a good start to the season, haven't they, UEL? They lost the first game, but now they've won their last 4 in the top of the league. Do you think there's real aspirations for another promotion this season?
Definitely. Like after the first game, I thought, oh, they've got the league. I mean, it's first division. After that, you've got to do a playoff for the Prems, so it's right up there. They lost the first game, and then after that, they've been storming. Like I honestly think if they beat Brighton on Wednesday, they'll be in a great chance. They beat Cardiff last week. They were 2-0 down, come back 1-4-2. They've got a real good team. If you haven't watched them, like, go there. It's quality to watch. So I think definitely pushing for promotion, and hopefully then into the south.
Positive signs for the first team as they look to secure promotion to the Premier South, and there are opportunities for all students to get involved with football, no matter what level they're at, as well as a chance to undertake roles off the pitch, which will stand them in good stead for when they graduate. Ben Smith, UEL Sports.
So Kane, you're taking on quite a lot of responsibility, third-year student and the chairman of the football team. How do you think, getting the balance? I don't know if I could do that balance, but, that's a hard balance to get right.
It is hard, but, as he says there, he seems to be managing okay. There's a lot to do this year with the addition of the 4th team and a whole host of new players coming in, and it's obviously going to be difficult for him. But I think he seemed quite relaxed there. He's still enjoying his football, which is the most important thing. Because if you're not enjoying it, then why are you in it?
And also, obviously, the addition of the 4th team, obviously, that's allowing much more players to participate, much more students to get involved in football, which didn't happen before, which is obviously great for the university and the football club.
It is. I mean, when I was in first year, I tried and I didn't get in. There wasn't really much of an opportunity for me to play, but there's so many chances for no matter what level you're at now. They got the 4th team, so that's obviously not going to be the highest standard just yet, but they're obviously going to coach those players well, and you never know what could happen. And he also mentioned to me off camera that they got a Halls 11 now, so that's almost a 5th team, if you like. Freshers coming in, playing football for fun, and they got the Tuesday and Thursday night sessions at the Sports Stock too. So no matter what level you're at, you've got a chance to play football, and it's never too late to get involved with football. No matter if you're 18, 22, you could be a real talent. So get involved now, and you could be the next Jamie Vardy, scoring goals in the Premier League at 28 years old after spending a whole career in non-league.
Yeah, imagine the next Jamie Vardy coming through UEL. But Sally, that's all we have time for this show and this series. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back in February. Goodbye.